In your work, you work with leaders, and you said if you had the opportunity to take 25 leaders, we would probably say 187 leaders. I think we have something like that in our membership. But it would be helpful to me and others, I think, to understand when you work with leaders in your work, what are you trying to do and how do you do it in your work with them?
See, generally, I find, though there is a lot of opinion all over the place, when you meet most of the leaders, they're well-intentioned, but they're caught up in a mire of situations. Democracy is an obligatory game. To climb up there, by the time you reach to the top place, you're obligated to so many people. When you sit there, if you don't take care of all these people, they all think you betrayed them. If you take care of them, other people think you're corrupt. So this is a very funny game. That's why I said if he has a long enough term, he or she has a long enough term, maybe they could… maybe if they're well-intentioned, they can go without these obligations. But my work with people has been, I've kept little focus on politicians because their term is 4 to 5 years. You see in this country, I see election is on for… it's a 4-year term. 2 years election campaign is going on. See, it's a 4-year term for the presidency. 2 years election campaign is going on. No, some time limit must be put, 3 months is enough. Let them prove themselves in 3 months. Why does it take 2 years? Every day you watch the news, only election is happening on the news channel. In India, I thought it's bad, it starts 6 months ahead. I'm pitching not more than 3 months, there must be any kind of election work. Let them focus on administration. We elected them to administer, not to fight one more election and one more election forever, okay? So I think somewhere, some limits have to be put because we have celebrated… I think moving from dictatorships and monarchies, we kind of little too thrilled with democracy. We need to understand every system has its flaws and democracy has too many loopholes. Only thing is, at least the mistakes are ours, you know. It's not somebody else's mistakes we suffer, it's our mistakes that we suffer. That is the only satisfaction we have. But yes, we have decided this is the best way to run the world, that's fine. But I think some limits have to be put. You can't run an election for 2 years. Election campaign cannot go on for 2 years. There must be a limit, 4 months, 3 months is enough. This is costing enormously. This is costing enormously for the lives of common people. And everybody, the entire country is in an election mode for 2 years, nobody is focusing on what they're required to do. So the leadership, as political leadership, I've generally kept away for a variety of reasons, except those we find are visionary in nature. My work has been largely with business leaders and bureaucratic leaders, because these are people who are there for a solid minimum 25 to 30 years. These are the people who can make a difference. So about 8 years ago, we made a list of 2,000 people in India who are business leaders and bureaucratic leaders who will definitely be there for another 25 years in the country doing things that they're doing. They may not be in the news, they may not be up there, these are not photo op leaders, these are real leaders who are doing work on the ground. So, we made a list of these people and said, if we can bring about at least 10% change of heart in them, they can change everything in the country. So we aimed in 4 years' time, we will get these 2,000 people. But now it's 8 years or almost 9 years now. We have touched about 46% of this leadership. They're quietly making a change for sure. They're everywhere today, in the administration, in the bureaucracy, in the business field. All of them making significant difference in the work that they were… how they were working before and how they're working today, with what intention. My main work has been to shift people from personal ambition to a larger vision. Personal ambition is a way of tweaking your desire, you know. People keep tweaking it every every year it gets little more and little more and little more, and this is what is destroying the world. Why are you going in installments? Why don't you have a desire, you know? It's not by reducing desire the world will get better. You just have to increase your desire. Why are you stingy with your desire? That I have to live well, my family have to live well. Why don't you make a real greedy desire? I want everybody in the world to live the way I am. So I'm trying to increase their desire from being personal ambition to a larger vision that we want to do this. So especially for business leaders, see whether you're manufacturing a safety pin or a computer or a spacecraft, it doesn't matter. Fundamental business is human well-being. Somewhere in these spreadsheets, I'm sorry, I'm not referring to your spreadsheets, these, what do you call them, the balance sheets of 3 months balance sheets, these quarterly balance sheets have become paramount goals. You've forgotten. Why we're looking at numbers is just to give us a guidance, how we're going forward or backward. It is not an ultimate God-given thing to anybody. But now these quarterly balance sheets have become the ultimate goals. So generally my work is to move people from this kind of short-term things to a larger vision, that be really greedy. If you manufacture safety pin, what should be your thing? All the 7 billion people must use my safety pin, the best safety pin, okay? Similarly with everything else, I'm saying instead of trying to curtail human aspiration, which is never going to work. It's never going to work. You can try as hard as you want, you can teach whatever philosophies you want to people, they will all not today be content with what you have, tomorrow morning they're on with their own stuff. So it is better to make an all-inclusive aspiration rather than trying to curtail aspiration. Curtailing aspirations have never worked, and one of the biggest things that I'm pitching with the political leaders in India and elsewhere also is, we need to curtail human population. That's our only problem. Nobody wants to address this. We took charge of certain things. There used to be epidemics, there used to be serious infectious diseases, and there used to be a certain number of children dying before they reach 4 years of age. All these things we took charge. Once we take life into our hands, we must understand that birth is also our business. Once you postpone death, you also must postpone birth, isn't it? The beginning of 20th century, we were 1.6 billion people. Today, we are nearly 7.2 or 7.3 billion people. In India, in 1947, when we got our independence, we were just 330 million people. Today, we are 1.2 billion people. So 4 times in 67 years. I think it's irresponsible reproduction. Yes. People are taking pride, we are the youngest nation, we are the youngest nation. So I asked, a minister was talking about how we are the youngest nation. I said, what happened to the old people? He said, what? No, we are the youngest nation. I said, fine, what happened to the old people? Nobody got old. That's not a great thing to gloat about. In 1947, the life expectancy of an average Indian was 28 years. Today, it's 64. It's a great thing. People are living longer, but that's becoming our curse because we postpone death. We must also postpone birth. We need to understand this. Otherwise, whatever you do, it's not enough. Whatever you do is not enough. Just going on doing more economic development is not a solution, it's going to lead to a disaster. See, economic development is fine, but there is only that much world. People are talking about wealth generation. There is no wealth generation. You can only take something that is here and put it there, what is there you can put it here. It's the same planet. Today, the living earth statistics tell us that if the entire world has to have what an average American citizen has, if the 7 billion people should have this kind of comforts and convenience and lifestyles, we need 4.5 planets, but we have only half a planet left. In India, for example, I'm addressing this and we are starting movements to save some rivers now. A big movement is happening and fortunately, the government is responding very positively. Year on year, an average of 8% drop is happening in the river waters in India. So this is approximately 16 to 18 years. Most rivers will be gone, they will be just seasonal. Right now, the major rivers, people who come from South India, they've been fighting with this river between two states, like Kaveri, touches the ocean only 5 months in a year. 7 months it doesn't reach the ocean. This is true with most of the major rivers. It is not reaching the ocean, it's getting all used up right here. So you do more development, more dams, more people, more food, but there is no more, there is only this much. But we are nice, but we are too many. We don't have to kill the people who are here, but we can postpone the birth, which has to be done. And it's not a God-given duty for everybody to reproduce. If human race is in danger, everybody must reproduce, but right now there is no such danger. Every other creature is in danger. We should tell the tigers to reproduce, elephants to reproduce. Humans, slow down.